Witnessing consciousness is elusive because it is unobjectifiable. It escapes our attention because it stands behind cognitive intentionality and cannot attend to itself. One cannot isolate the witness by pulling it to one side and objects to another. For in drawing a line between the two, both become objects of consciousness. Consciousness cannot become an objective content of consciousness. If one infers that this non-finding of consciousness is evidence of its non-existence, Sankara counters that one cannot deny their own consciousness. Consciousness is self-evident. It cannot admit its own absence or antecedent negation, for any dismissal of consciousness presupposes its very existence. Consciousness thus falls outside the scope of negation. Sankara defines the intrinsic nature of consciousness as uniquely self-illuminating, because it does not require a second awareness for it to be known. Consciousness is intrinsically reflexive, immediate, and self-revealing in all cognition, while simultaneously remaining the non-object of knowledge. It is self-established in that it does not require a means of knowledge to be known, nor any proof or justification for its existence. It is self-disclosing. No second thing mediates its access to itself. Sankara repudiates rival philosophies such as the Nyaya school, which rejects witnessing consciousness and self-illumination in favor of other illumination, a thesis more akin to contemporary higher-order theories. Nyaya argues that a second cognition is required to illumine the first. Sankara's basic counter-critique is that if a primary cognition requires a second apperceptive cognition to be known, then the second would require a third, etc., leading to a vicious infinite regression fallacy. In that case, no perception could ever be known. The self-illumination of witnessing consciousness accounts for the immediacy of cognition without falling into an infinite regress of mental modes. There is no need to apprehend the witness because it is self-established. If consciousness cannot become its own object, yet does not require a second, subsequent, or higher-order cognition to reveal itself, then an infinite regression fallacy does not arise. Sankara also critiques the view of some Mahayana Buddhist philosophers, Vasubandhu and Dharmakirti for example, who argue that a given cognition or mental state can simultaneously reveal itself in its object. Their self-illumination thesis is quite similar to Advaita Vedanta but endeavors to be more parsimonious by eliding the witnessing consciousness. Sankara counters that a self-illuminating cognition is incoherent because it is subject to the reflexivity fallacy. Just as a knife cannot cut itself, so too is cognition unable to objectify itself. A cognition requires a different source of illumination to be known. This is also a matter of direct experience, for we are aware of a cognition's changes, such as its origination and destruction and the arising of a new cognition. A source of illumination distinct from the cognition itself is required to know such changes. Sankara contends that the self-illumination of witnessing consciousness does not similarly fall to a reflexivity fallacy. Even though consciousness is immediately known, it does not objectify itself. Self-illuminating consciousness does not come into a relationship with itself. It does not entail being subject and object simultaneously, which would be incoherent, for there is no distinction to be made between itself and consciousness of itself.